Welcome back, everyone, for this week's episode of our Smoky Mountain Wrestling podcast. This is Smoky Mountain Wrestling, episode number 69. Harper is very excited this week, as you heard at the end of last week's episode. If you didn't listen all the way through the end because you didn't want to hear some plugs or whatnot, I'd suggest you go back and listen to the very end and what Harper said about doing episode 69. No pun intended. This is from May the 22nd of 1993. It's another special edition of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And what I mean is, last week we did Volunteer Slam 1993 with Rage in the Cage. This week we will find out what happened with the Smoky Mountain Wrestling heavyweight title with the Coward Waves the Flag match and the last Tangle in Tennessee, where one member of either the Heavenly Bodies or Rock and Roll Express will be sent packing for good from the promotion, and they can't come back. Remember, no mask or anything. In the opening, they do tell us of the results, but I'll keep you in suspense for a little longer if you haven't already watched it yet. All that said, Harper, it's episode 69. What's happening, Podna?
About to lick some vajayjay.
Okay. All right. How are you this morning, Harper? You okay?
I'm doing great, guys. How y'all?
I'm good. Doc, how are you?
Well, I don't want to gloss over this with the juvenile response to any sort of sexual act. We have a very serious subject matter to get to here because a long-term, big member of the promotion, this will be their last episode, pal. And I mean it. This is it. No coming back, no nothing. Spoiler alert, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to try to... Yeah. So, let's just jump into this thing, because I know Doc is limited on time. I don't know if he'll be able to join us for the entire episode.
I have to go give to charity later. I give back to the community, unlike you two people. And I have to go do some mission work later this morning, and so I can't stay for probably the whole show.
That's nice, Doc. Okay, let's move on. So here we go. Okay. Be blessed and be a blessing, brother. He's handing out blessings today like Buddy. Okay, so here we go. Hey, we're going to throw it right into the opening of the show. I need to throw it to Bob Cottle as Cottle throws us to the Coward Waves the Flag match. Let's listen to this opening right now.
Up today. All right, fans, right now, let's go to the tape of a Coward Waves the Flag match. That's between the Dirty White Boy and Tracy Smothers, where the belt has been held up. Now, notice, White Boy's flagman is not Ron Wright, but his brother, wrestling legend, Don Wright. Let's watch it.
Too many times, and it can backfire on you. Smothers got to be very careful. But it worked. He got him with it.
Wait a minute. Don Wright's over to get Horner. He's looked like he's got Horner's flag, and he's working over Tim Horner now with that staff on that flag. Referee right into the midsection.
We got the seconds into it outside the ring now. We see Smothers got White Boy down in the ring. Mark Curtis with his attention to Smothers and White Boy. Wait a minute. Here's Tim Horner now beating him with the flag. And the referee says ring the bell. Horner's waving the flag. The referee says do it. Did he wave the flag?
Well, he was beating him with it, but that's every time you come down with it, the flag was waving.
Hey, rules are rules. Rules are rules. New champion, Dirty White Boy.
All right, I'm not going to play the whole thing, so just a recap. So Don Wright was out there instead of Ron. And we'll find out why it wasn't Ron in a second when Ron does a promo. Horner needs to be shot because Horner beat old poor Ron Wright's brother, Don Wright. As it appears, Dirty White Boy seems to win, but then Mark Curtis realizes what happened and he decides to hold up the belt. Man, fuck Horner, man. He messes everything up.
Yeah,
he beat old Don Wright up. Tracy would still be the champ if not for Horner. Fuck, man. So I'll throw it to you first, Harper. Your thoughts here.
I'm sitting here, I watched this for the first time. I'm thinking, this asshole's waved the fucking flag. I was like, he's, and I kept waiting for Tracy to fucking turn on him or something. It's like,
oh yeah,
he's a fucking idiot. It had to do this on purpose because it just really makes him look like a fucking moron. Like, this is something like the dumb heel manager would get caught doing or something like that to fucking cost his guy the match or something. I was like, you fucking idiot, Tim Horner.
I got something to say about that, but Doc, your thoughts on this? Because Hopper, I'm with you. I understand. Doc?
I was just like, man, Smothers should have known better than to do this.
Yeah, for real, huh?
He deserves what he gets. He's like the girl who keeps going back to the guy who's going to cheat on her and not get a job, but I love him. Smothers should have known better than to. I mean, you knew what you were getting into. This is your fault, Smothers.
Bruh, this is a situation where, you know how there's just people in life that are just accidents waiting to happen, and every time something happens to them, you're like, bruh, that shit don't surprise me. Like, I mean, just anything, little thing. Like, they're just accidents waiting to happen. This is the same thing. Horner is just an accident waiting to happen.
My car broke down. Of course it did. My plumbing had a leak. Of course it did. Because something's always going on in your world. You're always doing something wrong.
I wish we had the time. I'd tell you a story about my neighbor down the street with a plumbing problem yesterday. But no, I want to get through as much as I can with Doc. I'll tell it after with you, Harper. We'll have some time. But it just, you're right. Accident waiting to happen. Like Harper, he's an accident waiting to happen. Like, I remember, let me tell y'all, the first time I saw this a couple months back, when I was watching ahead a little bit, I was watching this on the treadmill. And when that sumbitch started hitting Don Wright with that flag, I almost fell off. Because I was like, this is so fitting that it's Tim Horner. Like, it's just so fitting. It's almost like, is it a rib? No, it's not. It may have been a rib, but he agreed to it. It's so fitting. So fitting. But whichever, however, man. Anything else before I move to Ron Wright and Dirty White Boy's promo next?
No.
Okay, because Ron Wright is about to give us some important information here, and I think what we hear from Ron is let me just play it. Here's Ron Wright and the Dirty White Boy. Again, Ron, not Don, who was the one who was fighting Horner when Horner waved the flag. Let's go to Ron and Dirty White Boy now.
Well, fans, you just saw the reason that we don't have a Smoky Mountain heavyweight champion at the moment. The championship being held up, and here is the former champion, the Dirty White Boy, and his legendary manager, Mr. Ron Wright, and I'm glad to see you've recovered enough to be here.
Now, let me tell you, I've just barely recovered. I had to get brought down here in our ambulance today, or I couldn't even be here. I had to leave my oxygen mask back in the dressing room so I could talk. This, what you've seen, is a shame and a disgrace. I was trying to get to Johnson City to take care of my man in that match, just to make sure the white flag wasn't raised. I had a serious wreck, totaled my automobile, knocked up. I was completely unconscious for 4.5 days before I come to. I come down here and see a video, and they accused me of my brother waving the flag. Nothing like that happened. He was over there in the corner. Tim Horner was up waving the flag like some wild idiot. That should have been stopped and give to my beloved man right there, but instead they're trying to blame it on my brother. Said he was the one was waving the flag, and that's not so. But let me tell you something. They've got this match signed June 11th in Knoxville, Tennessee. My man, there's got to be a winner. They've got to be a winner. My man's going to get that belt. Just tell him what you're going to do to him, brother.
That's right. You know, the board of directors said there's got to be a winner. No reviewing the tape on June the 11th in K-Town. They're not going to review any tapes. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. What they are going to do is put myself and Tracy Smothers in the ring. And the man that wins comes out. The man that wears the crown, the Smoky Mountain heavyweight title. Well, Tracy Smothers, me and you's gone all over the place. We fought. You busted me open. I've done the same to you. Beatings a normal man couldn't take. But in K-Town on June the 11th, I'll guarantee you, Tracy Smothers, one thing. The Dirty White Boy will walk out the Smoky Mountain heavyweight champion.
Have it back, brother. Amen.
All right, and fans, we're going to hear from Tracy Smothers when we come back right after this.
Okay, let me just put this out there. Ron Wright said, Tim Horner was up there waving that flag like some wild idiot. I came unglued on that one.
He was.
Which he was. It was the truth. It wasn't a lie. Harper, what were your thoughts on the promo?
a dirty white boy should be the champion.
Mm-hmm.
What's the rules of this match?
Wave the flag, white boy.
Wave the flag. It's over. Right.
Right.
So fuck. He should be champion.
I can't help it if he was.
Horner should be getting his ass beat by fucking Tracy Smothers.
You got to get all hot about it, Hopper. Doc, your thoughts? Because Hopper's got a good point here. What do you think, Doc?
Can you imagine the kind of carnage a car wreck would do for a man like Ron Wright to be unconscious for 4.5 days? The other thing is, somewhere in there he misspoke and said he was knocked up. I was like, dude, you've got a lot of medical conditions, but I'm pretty sure that's impossible.
Yeah, he did say that. Now, I do have a question next time we talk to Cornette. Doc, you'll have to remind me of this because I don't have it written down right now. But I wonder if Ron couldn't make it that night due to some real emergency or something actually did happen, and Jim had to call in Don Wright. Like, I really wonder if there's like some truth to that. Like, something did happen. I mean, Ron is old. I mean, he's not a young man. I mean, he looks older than he is. But I wonder if there's actually some truth to the story as far as why Ron couldn't make it.
By our best estimation, and we did this a while back, Ron Wright's only like 53 years old here.
Damn,
that's true too. Yeah, I forgot we did do that. He's not that old right there. He's old. He's older than we are.
But yeah,
God.
Look it up, Doc, while I go to the next promo.
I'll try.
So next up, so Tracy's going to respond to Ron Wright and Dirty White Boy right here after what they had to say. So I agree, Hopper. Dirty White Boy should be the champion. With all that said, let's hear what Smothers has to say in a response.
Well, fans, we heard from the Dirty White Boy and Ron Wright about that belt being held up, and here's Tracy Smothers. Tracy, I know you've got some thoughts about that match also.
Yeah, I do, Bob. You know something? I think all the folks right there in Johnson City and all the people on TV have seen exactly what happened. White Lightning Tim Horner, who I consider one of my best friends in the world, there is no way that he waved that flag right there in the last Tangle in Tennessee. There's no way. The fact of the matter is that Don Wright, Ron Wright, I don't know who those guys are, but he was jumped on him, and all Tim was doing was knocking him off of it and hitting him with the flag. The referee saw it, thought he waved the flag. Well, from what I understand, the belt is held up. As you can see, it ain't around my waist. I feel naked. I worked so hard to get it. Blood, sweat, and tears, and now it's for all the marbles. June 11th in Knoxville, Tennessee. Dirty White Boy, I've had some of the most brutal battles I've ever had in my life, man. We're going to see who wants it the worst, me or you, for the Smoky Mountain Heavyweight title. Friday night, June 11th. If you want to see two guys that just don't like each other, then you come down to the Coliseum, because, White Boy, I'm coming for a reason, not a season. The road to the Smoky Mountain Heavyweight title is through yours truly, Tracy Smothers, the wild-eyed Southern boy. And by the good grace of God and the support of the fans and just a little bit of lady luck, this old country boy right here is going to be the next Smoky Mountain Heavyweight title, because, Bob, I feel like that I shouldn't have lost it in the first place. So, White Boy, show me what you got.
All right, fans, that's going to be a great one.
Tracy?
Tracy, wait a minute. Tammy Fish here, Tracy.
I'd just like to let you know that I'd be perfectly willing to manage whoever comes out the winner of that match, whoever turns out to be the champion, whether it be you or the Dirty White Boy. Well, maybe not the Dirty White Boy, because you're a little more my type. But I'd really be glad to just add you to my stable, so just get your pen ready and I'll see you that night.
Well, what about that, Tracy?
Well, that's awful different there, Bob. I don't know what to say, but, you know, I got more important things to worry about right now, and only thing I can say is I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. First of all, I got to beat that Dirty White Boy and get that belt.
All right, fans. Tracy's mother's right there. Now, to bring you up to date on that.
Bob goes laughing. Doc, you go ahead and go first.
Well, let me wrap up from the last segment. Ron Wright is 54 years old here.
Jesus Christ! I thought he was in his 70s.
No, I knew he wasn't. I knew he wasn't now. I said older. I mean, he's still, you know, he's in his 50s. I mean, obviously it's only 10 years from us, but still. Go ahead, Doc.
And it just feels like wrestling turned into pornography there. That was like a porno script. Yeah, like you hear Smothers' voice change, like, well, pretty little lady.
Right.
I'll bust those guts out for you. And it's funny considering what happened not too long ago in 2017, where Smothers cut a vicious promo on her and then quit
Right.
forever.
Yeah.
So that was funny. Smothers needs to work on getting a better best friend. But a lot of people, like we talked about last week, have been talking about the repetitiveness of Smothers promos, and I think this was awesome in a rebuttal because he wasn't repetitive here, and he was really good. And he's just trying to make his case, and he's got, he's just a guy trying to get along in the world, and he's fighting the bad guys, and his damn friends aren't helping him either. Shit, we've all been there. Like, you're trying to get something done, your dumbass friend fucking drops the flashlight in the engine, so now you got to fish that shit out while you're putting the new spark plugs in or whatever it is you hillbillies do. He's just trying to get through life, man.
Yeah. No. The part.
What do you want to bet? What are the odds that Tracy smashed that later in that day?
Bruh, I actually crossed my mind. I hate to say it, but I got the. We know people who would know that answer. That's the funny part. We all three know people who would know that answer.
Just call them.
Well, it's not that. I just there's one person, and everyone knows who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say his name. That actually,
you need to quit putting other people's business out on the street.
Yeah,
but I'm like 99%. I'm like 99.9% sure that he wore that out. But okay, that's neither here nor there. I do agree, Doc. You're right. There was no catchphrases there. I thought this was fine. I like this. So yeah, I'm not gonna be down on Tracy on this promo at all. I mean, Tracy in general, I'm not down on. I just said that some of the little phrases were getting old. That was the part that was starting to get to me. Harper, you had anything here?
When he says I'm here for a reason and not for a season. Who fuck's that supposed to mean?
It's Iceman King Parsons, pal.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Just shit on Smothers and Iceman, I guess. Fuck. What the fuck?
It's different coming from Iceman though, because Iceman's got that soul to it when he says it, because that's just how Iceman promoed. But okay, all right, let's anything else, Hopper?
No, just all right. I bet he fucked her. I bet he did.
And we will see how all this plays out because they're still in a feud and the belt's held up. And what was it, June 11th? We got more to come. So we're less than a month away from that happening. I'm not going to spend too much time on what happens next, but a large portion of the next part of the show is just resetting things with, remember, the last Tangle in Tennessee is also happening on this episode. So what they do is, they do a little bit too much recap, but I understand why they did it. They recap the Heavenly Bodies, Bullet Bob Armstrong, the whole feud. Remember, Bobby Eaton is out of Smoky Mountain when Eaton loses the Smoky Mountain heavyweight title. So, Cornette is mad about that. They show the recap of Morton being tarred and feathered. This all led to the Loser Leaves Town match, which is the last Tangle in Tennessee. And then they also recap the whole Rage in a Cage incident, Dixie Dynamite being unmasked and all that good stuff. Now, I'll move forward. Doc, I'm going to skip the local promo, and I'm going to go to the last Tangle in Tennessee at this point, because that's where all this stuff leads to. Are you okay with that? I know you're limited on time.
No,
all right.
All right. I don't want to cheat my Docaholics out of anything, but we're good. Let's go.
Okay. So last Tangle in Tennessee, they throw us to it. Lots of shenanigans. They were about to throw the match out due to too much bullshit. I mean, basically, there was so much interference and bullshit. They were getting ready to throw it out as they worked towards the end. But Sandy Scott gets on the mic and says, "Nah, bruh, someone is gonna lose this match." And holy shit. Gibson puts Lane in a reverse bridge figure 4. It just was like, what the fuck is he doing? But whatever. And Lane eats the pinfall. And with that, it appears Wallace Stanfield Lane is gone from Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And on top of that, we also have new Smoky Mountain champions. Wrestling tag team champions, that is. Morton gets a na 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 hey goodbye chant going in the arena. Doc, your thoughts?
So does this mean fake Stan Lane on Twitter can go do the Von Erich thing now?
No,
that's nice.
Nah, fake Stan Lane, he's just playing with you, man. You know he's shock jock Skip Bayless bullshit. You know how he does, fake Stan.
No, I thought you were talking about him. To me,
no. You're shock jock, not fake Stan.
Oh, me? Oh,
yeah.
I got confused.
Okay, Skip.
Well,
Come on, Skip.
Stanfield's gone, pal. For real.
Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad.
He'll have to get his seafood and women flown in somewhere else.
Hopper, your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, it's like, fuck, man. He's really gone.
End of an era.
Yeah.
I got a feeling.
Fuck?
It's very strange. It's very strange. That will be. Stanfield's been here since the Heavenly Bodies came in, and it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird with Stan not being there. However, what comes in behind Stan is utterly fucking ridiculous, and I don't mean that in the worst way when I say utterly fucking ridiculous, or we wouldn't be doing Smoky Mountain, and I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna play now. After that, with Stan being gone, and we're disappointed. Stan, we love you, and I guess we're gonna wait a couple. I forget what year he comes into NWA, but at least we'll see him in another year or a year and a half in NWA, right, Doc?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to Cornette after his Heavenly Bodies lose their belts.
All know this man who has received the largest fine ever in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Jim Cornette, you're $10,000 lighter
You
today.
always got to knock somebody, Bob Cottle. Always got to say, yeah, the largest fine ever. You know what $10,000 is to me? It's a phone call home to mother, and that's it, brother. And I know all you genetic defects out there, you didn't expect to see Jim Cornette standing here, or maybe you expect to see me crying tears. Maybe you expect to see me all upset, not the calm person I am here today. Well, let me tell you something, brother. I got news for you. Sure, the last Tangle in Tennessee didn't go our way. Sure, Bob Armstrong saw fit to arrange everything, stack the deck. You saw the whole story in this program today, how he did everything in his power to make sure that we'd come out on the losing end of everything. But you see, the guy who came out on the losing end of the most of it was Bob Armstrong. He's resigned as commissioner. He's out in a hospital somewhere. He's no longer involved with Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And me, Jim Cornette, I was responsible for it. Well, let me tell you something. I still got a few scores to settle. I still got a few things to even up. And, brother, what I'm doing is I'm opening my collar, and I'm digging in, I'm rolling up my sleeves, and I'm going to work. Because I got some scores to settle. Now, the first score I got to settle is with the Rock and Roll Express. You see, Rock and Roll, we got the Armstrongs coming after me. They want to get revenge. Got the Rock and Roll Express. They always hate Jim Cornette. Well, Rock and Roll, I'm going to take real good special care of you. Because what I'm going to do, you see, I have been a few places in professional wrestling, Rock and Roll. You ain't the only ones that's been all over the world. Jim Cornette's been a big deal for a long time, brother. Jim Cornette's tag teams have been the main event in the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, Reunion Arena in Dallas, Texas, the Forum in Los Angeles, the Orange Bowl in Miami, the Omni in Atlanta, and every point in between. I've been on MTV, ESPN, TBS, NBC, ABC. I've been on TV in Japan, Germany, Europe, and Australia, brother. I've ridden in limousines with Ric Flair. I've been a house guest at Terry Funk's Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas. And, brother, I've been on private airplanes with the biggest wrestling promoters in the country for the past 10 years. I've done a lot of stuff, Rock and Roll. I've made a lot of connections. And two of those connections that I made, two big stars, two national stars, two big-time wrestlers are coming to Smoky Mountain Wrestling at my request to take the Rock and Roll Express and put them down where they belong. Who are they? Well, you ain't going to know, Rick and Robert. You're just going to have to wonder. You're going to have to rev your little pea brains up, and you're going to have to figure it out the same time that all these idiots know when they're walking down the aisle to come to that ring and pulverize you. And your eyeballs pop out like pie plates, and you ain't going to be able to do anything about it. That's when you're going to know who Jim Cornette's mystery team is. But they're coming to Smoky Mountain Wrestling for the Rock and Roll Express. And as for the Armstrong boys, Scotty and Stevie Armstrong, I've got a little surprise that's coming up next. So don't go away after this commercial break. But just remember one thing. Here's a clue, brother. Blood's thicker than water.
All right, fans, that's it, and that's the story.
All right. So, Doc, I know you're still with me for a second longer. What? Anything? I'll throw it to you before you get off.
My basic note here is Corny was laying it down. I've been to this country, that country. I've been with this person. In case you didn't know, I'm a big deal. And he just makes it real crystal clear to everybody involved that he's losing battles, but wars are going to be his. I thought that was awesome. I'm about to hop off here. I really wish I could stay for all my sweet, sweet Docaholics out there, because this next part is just utterly ridiculous in the best way possible. This is territory wrestling, man. People leave, and you got to reload and keep going, and that's what's about to happen. So on that note, I'm going to say book it, bitch.
Hey,
I'll talk to y'all. Yeah.
Episode 70 next week. Just remind me when we record at the top, give your thoughts on what Harper and I are about to talk about.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'll see you fine fellas later. I'm going to go do the Lord's work now. Thank
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Harper, your thoughts on the promo?
I want to know who these guys are.
Well, the good thing is you got YouTube, and you can hit the you can keep going.
That's cheating.
Well, I guess in a way it is, but you're gonna have to prepare for it anyway. But so, he did do two things there that were very, very awesome in their own right. Because, okay, so this is what's great about wrestling back then, and not that they don't do this now, but basically Cornette's lost his guy, but he's like, fuck it, I'm good. We're about to keep on steamrolling along. Yeah, you got the belts, but I got somebody coming in. Not only do I have somebody coming in, but I also, on top of that, I got a new team coming in for you to Rock and Roll Express. So I thought,
on his feet.
Yeah. You know, he's Cornette, and he's gonna keep going, and he's not gonna let it affect him. Which to me is the beauty of it all. So, all right, with that's part out the way. So we go to the next match. It's Mike Sampson and Bobby Blaze, friend of the show, versus the New Heavenly Bodies. The Bodies are not done. Dr. Tom's new tag team partner is Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey. So real quick, they mentioned Jimmy Del Rey was in training for 4 years. Well, let me educate people who don't know. A lot of people who listen to us will know this, but let me just tell you all that Del Rey had been in wrestling for 8 years by this point. So just so you know, he did jobs in Mid-South in 85 from what I remember. And then he was also in Crockett as Jimmy Backlund in, was it 85 or 86? It may have been earlier this year. So long story short, though, the Heavenly Bodies win with Del Rey does almost like a moonsault move on the Mike Sampson, even though Mike Sampson was standing. And then Bob Caudle calls Mike Sampson Gary Scott. So Gary Scott was also a jobber in Smoky Mountain. I guess that's where he got it from. Harper, I'll throw it to you. Thoughts on this, man? Anything?
Yeah. When I hear the music hit, I'm like, whoa, what's this? The Heavenly Bodies. If this promotion reminds me of like the New England Patriots, they lose players, but they still go to the fucking Super Bowl. They continue to land on their fucking feet, no matter who stays or fucking who goes.
Yeah, and that's what you did in the territories, man. You people would leave and then you'd replenish, and people would leave and then you'd replenish. Yes. I mean, Mid-South did it for years. I mean, all the territories, they did it all the time. That's what they did. People would leave the territories, and then they'd fill the cupboard back up. And that's, I mean, it's the early 90s, but that's what Corny's doing here. I mean, he keeps refilling. And so we get the payoff then with, not payoff, but we find out about Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey. And we're going to hear more in a second. But yeah.
That he was the guy, he was in, when they did that little run in WWE, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
it was him. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll let's keep moving. Then I don't have anything else, but I will say this: they do a Rock and Roll Express promo, and they're talking about the Super Summer Sizzling Tour, just like they did in 1986 Jim Crockett Promotions that we talked about a few weeks back. Hopper, you got anything from this? I hadn't planned on playing it, but
does that sound like a car dealership commercial?
Yeah.
Super Sizzling Tour at your local Chevrolet dealership.
What it was Ricky and Robert banging more broads. That's what it was. Let's just say that. All right. So after that, though, remember last week Bullet Bob was basically injured pretty bad, and we found that out. So now we come back, and you got two parts of this promo here. The first part is going to be Bullet Bob. Well, it starts with Cornette, but Bullet Bob is laid up in the bed. Let's listen to what Bullet Bob has to say, and then I'm going to play the second part, which is Cornette and Heavenly Bodies.
Fans, in a moment, we'll talk to Jim Cornette and Heavenly Bodies, but first, let's hear these words from Bullet Bob Armstrong.
An Armstrong family tradition for years that we always pay our debts. And Jimmy Cornette, I owe you, and I owe you plenty. For over 20 years, I wrestled the top competitors in the world, and I've always held my own. I've never taken a beating like I took in Knoxville, Tennessee from you, brother. You crucified me. My ribs are cracked, my sternum's cracked. I can't even take a deep breath without hurting and thinking about you. The handcuffs cracked the wrist right behind the thumb. So all I've got to do is wait here and heal up. But I'll tell you what, there's enough of us Armstrongs to make an army, and you're going to get a taste of Armstrong's army. You might know the gentleman to my right, Scott Armstrong, the man to my left, Steve Armstrong. Their ribs aren't busted, their wrist is not cracked. They're young and strong. Armstrong. So from now on, that dark cloud hanging over your head will have a name. It will be called Armstrong. Your mama can't pay your way out of this. There ain't enough money in the world to buy me and my boys. And I'll tell you this, you will pay. When you play, you do pay. You're going to pay the ultimate price. Now, I've got to resign my commission as commissioner of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but along with that resignation letter, I'm going to have an application letter to wrestle. I want to be a wrestler in Smoky Mountain Wrestling because this is not going to go unpaid. I'll heal, sure enough. I'm down right now and you're laughing. I hope you laugh loud. I hope you laugh real loud, but I'm going to have the last laugh. Cornette, I'll see you sooner than you think.
All right, Harper, any thoughts on Bullet Bob in bed with his ribs taped up and his wrists taped up?
And dude, Oliver, when he says they're not just strong, they're Armstrong. How fucking badass is that?
Bullet Bob. That was a good line, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just strong, we're Armstrong. He also told Mama Cornette, just you ain't gonna be giving us no you can't pay us off, man. We're coming from Cornette. And then he did officially, I want this to be known, he did officially resign as commissioner. But so he's out as commissioner. He said he will sign a contract as a wrestler. So we no longer have Bullet Bob as our commissioner here with Smoky Bob.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, he's gonna wrestle. So.
Is he gonna wear the mask?
No,
huh?
No. He's not gonna wear a mask. He's Bullet Bob, so he's not wearing the mask here. I mean, I don't want to say it would be kind of pointless because everybody knew when he wore the mask back in the day who he was anyway. But yeah, no mask here for Bullet Bob. Anything else, Hopper?
No. Just the piece of art hanging above his bed.
I kept trying to figure out.
Bruh. Are they in the hotel room?
That's what I was trying to figure out too. But I was trying to remember, most hotel rooms that I've ever stayed at, even the cheapest ones, the bed had a headboard. Even if it wasn't a headboard, it was something like nailed to the wall that would look like a headboard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so is that a hotel or is I don't know. I maybe another question for Cornette. Where they shot this at?
Because who would put that shit above their bed?
Right above their head for it to fall off and clock them in the head in the middle of the night. Yeah, I've had to fight with my wife about that before. She's always to put shit above the headboard. I'm like, fuck no, man. That shit. What if that shit falls off in the middle of the night and kills one of us? No, thank you. Yeah, screw that. Fucking paintings, man. Women in paintings. She probably wanted to put "Live, Laugh, and Love" up there or some bullshit.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so let's go to the second part now, because now they come back and it's Corny in the Heavenly Bodies with Jimmy Del Rey here, and I love this. So let's play it. There's so much to talk about here. Here we go.
You know something, for all you Kentucky rednecks, you hillbillies here back in Harlan County that don't know what's happening? That was so pitiful. Wait a minute. Hold on here. Let me just get it out. Let me go ahead and play it. Bullet Bob Armstrong, 20-something years, 40-something, maybe 60-something years. Bob Armstrong, you're so old, your social security number is 1. In all those years, you've never had a beating like that. That's because you never came across a real man like Jim Cornette and the Heavenly Bodies, brother. Bob Armstrong is no longer commissioner. I got what I wanted. He has resigned as commissioner of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. He was hospitalized at my hands. I got even for all those times that he stacked the deck against us. And Bob Armstrong, the only breath of satisfaction that you had in that old feeble, Geritol, milk of magnesia-ridden body was that the last Tangle in Tennessee came down with the Rock and Roll Express on top, but all of a sudden, like David Copperfield, I have jerked that tablecloth out from under your stinking, filthy carcass. I have jerked the rug out from under your feet, and I have put together the ultimate combination of the Heavenly Bodies. And Tom, I know you're glad to have family back again.
Jim, you have no idea how happy I am that finally my cousin can make his debut in professional wrestling right alongside me. You see, he's been training in Palm Beach, Florida with nothing but the best for the past 4 years. He's been waiting for an opportunity. All he needed was a little crack in the door, and now he's put his foot all the way through the door, and he's back where he belongs with family. And I'm here to tell you that we are still the Heavenly Bodies, only this time we are new, and as you just saw, we are definitely improved. Guys, it's great to be with family. Jimmy, I'm so glad to get to be here with you. And cuz, how sweet it is. How sweet it is. I don't have nothing to say about wrestling. I've ate, slept, and drank wrestling for 4 years. I got one thing to say. Ladies, the line is to the right.
Oh, yeah. Let me just say one thing to Scott and Steve Armstrong, the Armstrong boys. You come on with your vendetta. You come on to get your vengeance. You come on to get your revenge. Because, brother, I got something for you waiting in the form of the Heavenly Bodies. And, brother, this time we will rule Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Fans, that's going to do it for this week. See you next week. And until
Jimmy Del Rey with the ladies, the line is to the right, and then that stupid-looking shimmy dance was awesome. But I got a feeling you may use that one soon. Harper, your thoughts on this promo?
I had to question my sexuality when I saw him do that. My God. What's up, boy?
That was awesome. Oh, God. What else, Harper? Anything?
That shit was great.
Oh, God. I like this because Cornette, first off, he tells Bullet Bob, you're so old, your social security number is number 1. And Del Rey with the ladies to the line is to the right. I think the best part about this is there was a payoff, but there was also further into the story without being stupid. They really got rid of Stan, which is you're not insulting fans, so you kept your promise there. You didn't lie to people. Stan is gone, and he's not in a promotion under a mask anymore. So they didn't insult us as fans. At the same time, Cornette said, you guys ain't shit. I had a plan all along, and it's bringing in Jimmy Del Rey and the Heavenly Bodies. So it's like he got his with Stan being gone, but he also had a backup plan because the Heavenly Bodies are still here.
Yes.
Just with Dr. Tom and Jimmy Del Rey now. So I thought this had a really good payoff, and so that's my thoughts there. Harper, anything else from this? Because this was Jimmy. Let me say this: people need to watch Jimmy Del Rey because Jimmy Del Rey is utterly ridiculous, and
This is hilarious.
yeah, it is. Oh, God. All right, man. So, all right, let's do disability checks and government cheese. First, we'll do disability checks. And Doc, before he left, he texted me, and he is going 7.9. Harper, I'll go to you. What are you giving it?
I'll give it an 8.5.
See, I was thinking like 8.5 as well, because there's a lot of replay here, but
Yeah.
I think not just the replay, but the whole Tim Horner thing with the flag, and then Ron Wright's promo was really good, and then Tracy with frickin' Sonny / Tammy, and in the end with Jimmy Del Rey, and they're reloading the cupboard, like you said. I went 8.5 here. I agree with you. I think Doc's a little low there. Now, Doc did his government cheese. Before I do that, though, I want to request, and hopefully all of you out there listening would enjoy becoming a patron of this show to be able to get access to the patron-only episodes. Go to tinyurl.com/bttpatron. Couple bucks a month can get you access to all of the patron-only shows. And then in addition to that, some of the older shows that we've done so many now, we're like 200 shows into this. Those are going to be dropping off of the regular feed. And what I'm going to start doing, I think, is loading up the old shows like for our archives on the patron side. So if you ever wanted access to the stuff that's not on iTunes anymore because it's just dropping off, I think I'm going to start loading all that stuff on the patron side. So again, to be able to get access to that in the future, but most importantly, the current patron shows, is go to tinyurl.com/bttpatron for that. Again, I want to thank you all for doing so. It's just a couple bucks a month. It's a great way to support the show. And then Amazon, I know the holidays maybe they're past us by the point of this one hitting, but tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon, great way to support the show on an ongoing basis. We get a little bit of small kickback in return. We'd appreciate it. So again, it's tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. Wives, girlfriends, anyone in your family who does a lot of shopping on Amazon, please tell them to use that going forward. Harper, Government Cheese Award. Doc gave his to Jimmy Del Rey. I have to do the same. Who are you giving yours to?
Mine goes to Jimmy Del Rey's pelvis.
Del Rey's pelvis.
Yeah, his pelvis gets the cheese.
What'd you say? You had to question your own sexuality, Jimmy?
Yeah, I was like, ring a ding ding. What's up, bro?
Did you say Yahtzee?
Mm-hmm. Where's that line? It's to the right, right? Because I don't want to get the wrong line.
Ladies, the line is to the right. With his missing tooth. He's a gigolo with a missing tooth. That's great. That's real classy, pal. Oh, God. Yeah, Del Rey gets it. I'm not going to give it to his pelvis, but definitely Del Rey gets it. So, clean sweep with Del Rey this week. Tim Horner Award goes to Tim Horner. What do you think, Doc? Harper?
Yes.
Coward waves the flag.
Dumbass, bro. Fucking idiots.
We should have a shirt that says, no disrespect to this, because I'm a part of a Facebook group now that Tim Horner's in.
Oh yeah?
Yes. Somebody added him the other day, and it was like, we'd like to welcome Tim Horner, and I was like, oh shit. I gotta watch what I post around here now. Not that I post. I never talk about him online. It's only on this show. But anyway, Tim Horner gets the Tim Horner Award. Maybe we should have a shirt that's something like "Fuck Tim Horner." I don't know, man. I don't want to do anything like that vulgar. That's not really right. I mean, he's just an old guy with a family now. You think we're too hard on him sometimes?
No.
Okay. Well, hard on him in Smoky Mountain, not just in not in life. I mean, he's. Okay. All right. Before we get out of here, I want to remind everyone, please throw us a 5-star review on iTunes. Help us out there. Also, if you're on iTunes, go back through all of those 5-star reviews that are written and click yes that they're helpful. That helps out with the gods of Apple and people who run iTunes and algorithms and all that good bullshit. So please help us out there. I want to thank the Hall of Fame patrons as well. Al S. R.E. Miller 39, at Justin Andretti, at JShiny21, at Natural Hacksaw, at Thin Man Within, Slider91 US, Justin Rasmussen, at ShipDaddy32, at UFC 49ers Dodger, at Gerald Green III, at TOG94, at SV Pagem, at Martin Howell 71, at Tim Marici, Coleman822, at Gobbled Unreal, at Unconvinced Ray. Thanks for being Hall of Fame patrons. We appreciate that. Follow us on Twitter at BTT_podcast. I'm at Mike504Saints. Hardbody and all his hoes are at CJH Whodat. Yeah. You haven't been with anybody until you've been with Hardbody, is I guess the same. Ain't that right? Something like that, Harper?
That's the rumor.
Okay, that's the rumor. So follow him on Twitter at CJH Whodat. And then go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/bookintheterritory. While you're there, hit like. Click the Shop Now button. It'll take you to our Pro Wrestling Tee store. And then for all of our other T-shirts, go to our TeePublic store. The link is in the show description. Just whatever device if you're listening to this online or if you're listening to this on a device of your choice, whether it's an Android, Apple product, whatever, there should be a link to our TeePublic store. Shirts like the Buddy Landell shirt, the Ron Wright shirt. They're all there. Check them out. Buy them. We'd appreciate it. All that said, thank you to the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing for all their plugs. Check them out twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. And that's all I got, Harper. I'm tired and tuckered out. Harper, anything else before we get out of here?
Let's go, man. Oh, fuck on Vimeo. Give me a goddamn Christmas present. Go on Vimeo and fucking subscribe to Wildcat.
Subscribe or subscribe?
Man. Subscribe.
Subscribe. Not
yes.
subscribe.
Subscribe or prescribe.
Whatever works. So, yeah, there you go. Harper, hit the tagline and get us out of here.
Book it, bitch.